Welcome to Exquisite Tutorials. Once again, we are here to assist you in your academic life in school. My name is Ben Josh and I am here to take you on AB 112. Using the Uniben textbook for the second semester. So, AB 112. And today I'll be taking the mammalian skin. Okay. Mammalian skin. Now, as we all know, the skin is known to be the largest organ in the body. Yes, because it covers the body like it covers the entire body. We know that the skin is very, very essential for the survival of human beings. Not only humans, but also animals. Now, the skin performs some certain functions which makes it indisposable when it comes to survival of humans or animals. Now, one of the functions that the skin performs, the skin prevents microorganisms or chemicals from entering into the body. It prevents microorganisms and chemicals from entering into the body. Take note, harmful microorganisms and harmful chemicals. And chemicals from entering into the body. That is to tell you that the skin is waterproof. Now, another function that the skin performs, the skin also aids in osmoregulation, that's regulation of body temperature. Regulating body temperature. Now, the skin also prevents loss of vital liquids from the body. Prevents loss of important liquids, or we say prevents how would I put it now? It stops the escape of important liquid from the body. Important liquids from the body. And lastly, the most important function, which we know right from our secondary school days, is that the skin covers the body and protects it from harmful substances. Like it covers the bones, the muscles, and it protects them. So the skin protects. The skin protects the internal organs. We use internal organs to just round all of them up. Internal organs from damages and injuries. Injuries. Now, all these are things that explains to us why the skin is very, very important for human well-being. Now, the skin is divided into two parts. Let's do something like this. The skin, should I say parts or layers? Some will tell you three because of the subcutaneous layer, but I will get there. The skin is divided into two parts: the epidermis, and the what? And the dermis. Now, we have been taught some few things on the epidermis and the dermis during our secondary school days, but I am here to just explain further and edify us. Now the epidermis, as we know, is like the upper part. I won't use outer. It's the upper part of the skin, which we see. The upper part of the skin. Then this one is the inner part of the skin. That's outside, and this one is inside. Okay, now I want to like explain the epidermis and the dermis before I get to the subcutaneous layer. Now, explain the epidermis. There are some things that I would like to use to explain the epidermis. Firstly, we'll be talking about keratinocytes. Then we have melanocytes. Then we have Langerhans cells. Then we have Macular cells. Now, these are few things that we use to explain the epidermis. Now, I will start from the keratinocytes, then I'll finish with the Macular cells. Now, 90% of the epidermis is covered with keratinocytes. Now, this name keratinocyte is given because of the protein, the tough fibrous protein that these keratinocytes produce, known as what? Keratin. Known as what? Keratin. Now, keratin aids in the toughness and the strength of the skin. Now, among keratin is where we find melanocytes. Just scattered among these keratinocytes, we find these melanocytes. Now, melanocytes, just the way keratin is from keratinocytes, they produce what we know as melanin. This is an important part of the skin. Do not forget this. Take note. Now, melanin performs so many functions in the body. Firstly, it protects us from ultraviolet radiation, ultraviolet light, UV light. The body produces enough melanin. Now, the production of melanin is like a reaction. It's like a counter reaction to exposure to what? To sunlight. Now, melanin, as we know, are of different types. Take note. They are of different types. We have eumelanin. We have pheomelanin. We have a neuromelanin. I think about. Okay. Now, these are the two that concerns us here, because we'll be dealing with these two, eumelanin and pheomelanin. Now, this one, from the word neuro, tells you it is secreted in the brain. Yeah. So, talking about eumelanin, this particular kind of melanin is, okay, let me use this part of the board. Now, we were talking about the keratins and the melanins, keratinocytes and melanocytes. Okay, I will just give a brief recap of keratin. Now, we said that 90% of the epidermis is made up of what? Keratins. Okay. Now, keratins, as we know, are on the upper part of the skin. They are on the upper part of the skin. The hairs you see are surrounded by a lot of keratins. They are made up of different dead keratins. Now, I said before that scattered among the keratins are melanocytes that produce melanin. Okay, and we were at eumelanin. Okay, now eumelanin is a kind of melanin. Okay, first of all, melanin is the pigment responsible for the coloration of the skin. Let me explain how the skin is being colored. Firstly, melanocytes produce melanin in packets known as what? Melanosomes. Now, these melanosomes are distributed to keratinocytes. It is this keratinocyte that forms a matrix around the body. Remember, we said 90% of keratinocytes are what? Are on the epidermis. That's the surface of the skin. So it is this keratinocytes that form a matrix around the body and circulates the what? The pigments of what? Melanin. Now, back to what we were saying about eumelanin. Eumelanin is a kind of melanin, or a type of melanin that is involved with skin tone. Talking about, in particular, we talk about dark and what? And brown. Dark and brown for eumelanin. Now, we made mention of another kind of melanin. We said we'll be talking about these two melanin. Pheomelanin. Now, what does pheomelanin has to do with skin and color? Now, you discover that there are some humans with redness or with reddish hair. Yes. This, when a person possesses a pheomelanin, these are the kinds of things you see. Normally, your hair is not supposed to be reddish. It is not supposed to be reddish. It's either dark or what? Or brown. But you see some humans are having reddish hairs. It's because of what? Pheomelanin. Pheomelanin. Now, this kind of melanin is also found in some places like your lips. Yeah, they are found around your lips, soft parts of your skin. Yeah. Okay. We said neuromelanin is a kind of melanin that is secreted in the brain. So obviously that does not have anything to do with the skin. So talking about okay, we finished with keratinocytes. We explained melanocytes, and we are down to Langerhans cells and the Macular cells. Now, Langerhans cells are in the epidermis. They are produced in the what? In the bone marrow. In the bone marrow. Produced in the bone marrow. They induce an immune response. How would I put it now? Should I say induce? It's like they determine the kind of response the body gives to how would I put it, to stimuli, something of such. They are connected to the what? To the immune system. Good. Now, the Macular cells, these ones are very, very easy. They're just, these are little things that aid, that make up the epidermis. Now, the Macular cells, also known as Macular cells, are cells that are associated with touch, sensitivity to light, pressure, etc. But these cells, you see, together with the Langerhans cells, are found in the what? In the epidermis. They might not be produced here, but this is where they are found because this is where their duties are. Like, you know, your skin is very sensitive to certain things like touch, light. The Macular cells, they are found around the hair follicles, you know, around the hair, and some other sensitive part of the lips, you know, your palms, your fingertips. All these are places you find the Macular cells or the Langerhans cells. Now, okay, we're done with the epidermis. We move to the dermis. Before we spoke about the epidermis, now we are down to the dermis. Now, we made mention of the epidermis being the outer or the upper part of the skin, which we see. We made mention of things like keratinocytes, melanin. We made mention of eumelanin, pheomelanin. We made mention of how they relate. Eumelanin relationship with dark or brown skin tones. Then we made mention of pheomelanin with the redness of hair and lips. Okay. Now, a state where there is no melanin at all, we all know that's known as albinism. Okay. Now down to the dermis. Okay. The dermis, like we said before, is the inner part. The inner part of the skin. Inner part of the skin. Though not the last, not the deepest, but we consider it as the inner part. It is like a bridge, a gap between the epidermis and the subcutaneous layer, which is also known as the hypodermis. Now, there are some things that the dermis is made up of that makes it kind of unique in its own particular way. Just the way we did, the way we explain the epidermis, we are going to explain stuff like fibroblasts. Okay. Then we are going to explain stuff like collagen, and we are going to explain what else is there. We have elastin again, yes, elastin. Then okay, good. Now these are the main components of the dermis. Now talking about fibroblasts. Okay, before I go, the dermis, before I start with the fibroblasts, the dermis is mostly made up of connective tissues. Now, the most common connective tissue there is the fibroblast. Yes, the fibroblast. The fibroblast secretes about, I think, 3 proteins. Yeah, we have fibrin. We have fibronectin. Yeah, fibronectin. Then we have collagen. Okay, collagen. Okay. Yeah, fibrin, fibronectin, and collagen. Okay, now these two, as we know, are related to blood clotting and stuff. Okay, I think this one, I think regulates the amount of platelets that goes to the place of injury, and so on and so forth. Okay, now this is what concerns us here. Yeah, this is what concerns us here, collagen. Like I said before. Now, collagen is a protein secreted in the fibroblast that is responsible for the strength of the skin. The strength of the skin. Strength, please do not forget this. The strength of the skin. Okay. Okay, strength of the skin. Now, there's another protein that we are seeing here, elastin. Elastin, from the word elastin, it tells you that it has to do with a relationship with elasticity. It tells you how elastic something is. Now, elastin is a protein that is responsible for the elasticity of our skin, the flexibility of our skin. Now, one might ask, is my skin flexible? I would explain. I remember there was a time I had an injury when I was young, and a part of my skin peeled off. So in an attempt to cover it, I tried matching that part with the place that was open. And I discovered that even if it covered it to some extent, it didn't fit properly. It did not fit properly. That's to tell you that your skin is flexible. Your skin is elastic. Your skin is elastic. Okay. Now, okay. Flexibility of the skin. Flexibility. Okay. Now, there are some parts of the dermis that responds to vibration. There are some parts of the dermis that respond to vibration. We have, I think, the corpuscles. We have the Meissner's corpuscles. Okay. Then we have the Pacinian corpuscles. Okay. Yeah. The Meissner corpuscles, they perform similar functions, but they are quite different from each other. They both respond to vibrations, but the Meissner corpuscles responds to low vibration. Low vibration. I think your textbook ranges it from about 10 to 50 hertz. Now, the Pacinian corpuscles responds to deep vibration. Deep vibrations. Tell you these parts are sensitive. They are receptors. Okay. We are done with the dermis. So we move to the subcutaneous layer, which is about, I think, just a few lines. Okay, the subcutaneous layer. Cutaneous layer. Okay. Yeah. Down to the subcutaneous layer. Now, the subcutaneous layer, also known as the hypodermis, and it is also known as the superficial fascia. Now, the subcutaneous layer is composed mainly of fats. Now, they are not just fats. Most of our body fats are stored in the subcutaneous layer. Okay. Now, there are some other things that are in the subcutaneous layer. I think we have some connective tissues there. Then some proteins are also in the subcutaneous layer. Now, okay, let me add proteins. Okay, proteins and connective tissues. Tissues. Okay. Now, aside that, the subcutaneous layer has a function. It has a function. Now, this function is very important to our learning today. Please do not forget this. This is very, very important. Now, the function of the subcutaneous layer is that it acts as an insulator, or how would I put it? Yeah, it acts as an insulator to prevent the body from shock. To prevent the body from shock. Okay, it acts as an insulator to prevent the body from shock. Now, okay, prevents the body, particularly the internal organs, the body from shock, brackets, internal organs, okay. When we talk about internal organs, we mean bones, muscles, and other stuff. Okay, aside that, the subcutaneous layer is the layer that the last layer between the muscles and the skin. The muscles, the bone, and the skin. It is like the bond, the bridge gap between the muscles and the other layers of the skin. It's the last layer before the skin. So take note of this. Yeah, it also aids in regulating body temperature. We mentioned of the skin being able to regulate body temperature. Okay, you see, it is the subcutaneous layer that does that. It's the subcutaneous layer that does that. Okay, okay, that will be all for the 3 layers of the skin. Now we are going to talk about the skin appendages. So I'll just quickly rub off the other part of the board so we finish up on the skin. When we talk about skin appendages, we talk about things that are associated with the skin. Things like the hair, the nails, the glands. They are glands associated with the skin. So this is what we are going to do today, and we'll wrap it all up. So now we are back again. Exquisite tutorials here for your edification as a student. Okay, continuation of AB 122. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, please. And if after the class you have any question at all, please do well to drop it on the comment section, and I would answer in my next video. Okay, now talking about skin appendages this time. That's a wrap up for the skin. Now, a brief explanation is that skin appendages they are parts of the body that has to do with the skin, that are related to the skin. They are, like example, we have the hair. See the hair on your skin, then the nails, and there are also some glands that are together with the skin. Okay, so talking about the hair, the nails, okay, and the glands, okay, glands. Now I think our major focus here has to do with the glands, but I'll have to explain the hairs and the nails. We cannot neglect any important part of this study class. Okay, now the hair is made up of 2 parts, the roots and the shaft. Now the shaft is the one that comes out of the body. Okay, yeah, the one inside is known as the roots. Now this outer one is the shaft. So this is the hair. Now hairs are made up of dead keratinocytes. They are composed of dead keratinocytes. Now keratin also aids in the growth of the hair. The growth of the what? Of the hair. And the hair gets its color from melanin. So colors of the hair are gotten from melanin. Yeah, and I think that that should be all for the hair. Okay, we made mention of some people having red hair. That red hair is as a result of melanin with sulfur and iron. Yeah, okay, sulfur and iron. We made mention of those people having something known as some pheomelanin, okay, which is not supposed to be normal. Now we move to the nails. The nails also has keratin in it. Yeah, keratin aids for the growth of the nails also. The inner part of the nails are also known as the roots too. Now down to our major focus, the glands. This is where we are going to finish up our class, and this part is also very, very important, so please pay attention. Now talking about the glands, I'll use this part of the board. Talking about the glands, we are going to list them out first. We have sudoriferous gland. We have a sebaceous gland. sebaceous gland, and we have the ceramiferous gland. Okay, the sudoriferous gland is of two parts. They are also known as the sweat glands, by the way. Firstly, we have the Apocrine gland, and the Apocrine gland. Okay, now the Apocrine gland are found almost in all parts of the skin. They're found almost in all parts of the skin. They are the ones that secrete the normal sweat that we have around our bodies. Sweat, so that's a mixture of water and some metabolic waste. Okay, they are found in all parts, almost all parts of the body. Please do not forget this. This is very, very important. Almost in all skin areas. Okay, now the apocrine gland. This gland, I said that they are almost the same thing, but they differ in just a little bit. Now these ones are found. They are not as plenty as the apocrine gland. They are found in some reserved areas like the armpits and some genital areas. They secrete a milky fluid. Okay, found around the armpits, the groins. You can find them there, groins, and also some genital areas in the body. Okay, they can be triggered by maybe sexual responses or so. Okay, now the sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland. Now this gland has to do with an oily substance or an oily fluid known as the sebum. It secretes the sebum. Please do not forget this. Now the sebum, like I said, it's an oily substance. I have to tell you, it keeps the part of the skin oily together with the hair. It's around the hair follicle. Yeah, it's found like in areas around the face. Yes, it keeps the skin oily. It prevents it from getting dry. It prevents the skin and the hair from getting dry. Okay, please do not forget this, the sebum. Okay, now talking about the last one, the ceramiferous gland. Now this particular gland secretes what is known as the cerumen. The cerumen, it's a fluid. It's a fluid in the ear that prevents it from allowing them like harmful substances into the ear. So it prevents harmful substances from entering into the ear. That's just before the tympanic membrane in the ear. So the ceramiferous gland secretes what is known as cerumen. Please do not forget these terms. They are very, very important as it comes to glands that are associated with the skin. Okay, so that will be all for this class. I hope you enjoyed it. SQT tutorial are dedicated to giving you the very best that we can offer. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you try watching our videos, because we'll try to edify you in ways that we can. So thank you. My name is Ben Josh, and have a lovely day. Good day.